Well, the Road to Rickwood game is right around the corner, and Roy Wood Jr. joins us here on the program. And it's an honor to talk to you. I've been a big fan for so many years. I'm so glad you're part of the coverage and bringing this game to Birmingham. You actually grew up in Alabama. You played high school baseball at Rickwood Field. So
I rode the bench at Rickwood, but continue though.
Hey, you and I have that in common. We were both bench riders in high school. What does it mean to you? What does it mean to you to have this game come here at the major league level and obviously honor the tremendous history that this ballpark has?
I think any time that a light can be shined on Birmingham, in the city of Birmingham, in the state of Alabama, when we're talking about remembering the past with reverence and thinking about what the future of baseball can be, it is a wonderful, wonderful thing. I'm just excited that people are going to be there. And as a kid who played high school ball in Birmingham, people forget Rickwood is essentially a living museum, but it is also still a municipal city facility that is used for baseball. Something as simple as MLB coming changes the drainage of the field because they redid the sod, which means more games can be played there. Because Alabama this time of year, it rains on Monday. The field's not dry until Wednesday. But this type of stuff changes the whole facet of what baseball could be in the city long after the Giants and the Cardinals have played their game on Thursday.
Well, let me plant that seed with you here. Maybe you've thought about this too. Baseball has put so much work and effort into making this year's game happen. Why not next year too? Why not every year to honor the tradition and history of the Negro League specifically?
I will simply say there have been a lot of Negro Leaguers, so I think we could honor many of them. I know that this Thursday's game, we're going to be honoring not only Willie Mays, but MLB is, rolling out the red carpet to an extensive amount of Negro Leaguers, many of who still live in the city of Birmingham, who I talked to. We'll talk about the podcast in a second, but the idea of being able to take these living griots, these living testaments of history, and just tell them thank you while they're still alive. It means a lot. I would love to have this game be in Birmingham regularly, but then there's also a part of me that also wants to acknowledge the fact that, Kansas City and the role they played in the Negro Leagues and it being founded there is important. We talk about Pittsburgh and we talk about Hillsdale. Like, there's so many cool places and teams we could pay homage to. It would almost be selfish of me to say to only honor the Negro Leagues in Birmingham. But that's what I would say. Yeah.
You're a homer. It's fine. It's your hometown. I would love to see it. If you're gonna fix up the field, if you're gonna make Rickwood Field more of a museum. And by the way, it's the oldest professional ballpark in the United States. Opened in 1910. None has been around longer than that. So I do want to talk about the podcast. That's a project you've been working on. You've been documenting the history and everything that's been leading up to this game. I know it's been a lot of work for you. I know you already knew a lot about Rickwood Field and its history. What more have you learned? What people have you talked with that have kind of opened your eyes even more?
We spoke to so many previous Negro Leaguers who played there and the stories they were able to tell about their time at the park. The podcast is called Road to Rickwood. It's a 4-part series about essentially the beginnings of that park to where we are on Thursday. And so the idea was to simply tell the story of this one place in Birmingham where chaos was happening all around it, but it was the one place where there was peace and quiet. It was the one place where there was some degree of forgetting about what was happening around us in the world at the time. And we all know the history of the city of Birmingham, but what people forget is that 1/3 of all of the Hall of Famers played at that field at one time or another. And, you go all the way back to the Satchel Pages of the world, all the way up to, like Reggie Jackson hit a 500-footer to the railroad tracks. You learn so many different things in this podcast just about how this concept of the Birmingham Black Barons, and, then they were undone during segregation, and then the team came back during desegregation. The Barons were the first desegregated sports team in the state of Alabama, and they played at Rickwood Field. And so the idea of whether or not we could live in an integrated society started with the concept of baseball. That was the ground zero. If we're talking about a test kitchen for a social construct, it happened at Rickwood Field. And so it's been dope. A lot of people also forget that the original dimensions of Rickwood, and this is going to blow baseball fans away. I don't know who drew up Major League Parks back in the day, Dave, but something was wrong with them. The original dimensions of Rickwood, and you can quote this, 400 to left field, 480 straight away, 330 down the line, but then the moment you get 10 yards off the line, it juts out to 390.
A lot of inside the Parkers, I suppose, back in the day. It was hard to hit one over the fence at Rickwood. Hey,
goodness gracious, everybody hitting triples.
Let me close it out with this with you. And like I said at the top, I'm a big fan of yours. I know you as a humorous person. You make great jokes about everything. You always got me falling off the chair. But for you to work on something like this, which, let's be honest, there's not a lot of comedy about this game. This is very serious, sentimental, important, meaningful for so many cultural and historic reasons. How do you take just being connected to this project? I mean, the fact that you're so deeply ingrained and involved, this must be almost like a tremendous honor that you kind of get to be one of the main voices.
Everything that I've ever been able to do outside the city of Birmingham in 26 years of stand-up comedy has been to shine a positive light on the state. So to have an opportunity to be a part in any type of ambassador type way, to just show people that this is a great state. It's a great city. We're going to have a great time. I'm excited for the Giants and Cardinal fans, many of whom I'm sure have never come to Birmingham and probably have their own preconceived notions about the city and the people. It's going to be a good time, and it's something that's been a long time coming. So to be able to be a part of it and to be able to look at the people that inspired the Frank Thomases and the Ken Griffeys, who then inspired me, it's a huge honor, and I'm just excited for the day, and I can't wait till Thursday, you know, assuming that I don't pull a hamstring in the celebrity softball game the day before.
I've actually done that before. It's not pleasant. Roy, thank you so much for the time. I have to end it like this. Why was 6 afraid of 7?
Why?
Because 7, 8, 9. Never mind. I tried. Thanks, Roy.
You got a great career in broadcasting going, though.